Good afternoon and welcome to Inside News. It's our Friday show on the mark where myself and Shahil are going to go through the card with you. Hopefully find you a couple of winners for this Saturday meeting. It looks sort of could be a sort of favourites afternoon, but whenever it has looked like that, you always find a little bomb every year now and then. And but at the end of the day, the card doesn't look that difficult as far as I'm concerned. Shale, what do you think? I mean, generally, if you obviously you've studied the card, generally a couple of favourites stand out?
Yeah, a couple of favourites does stand out, but there are quite some races who opens up a little bit too.
Yeah, okay, well, let's try and get through it as best as we can. Race 1, 1500 metre, rating 0.20. Always tough to get through that first leg of the pick 8 in these 0.20s. Just have to look at last week's superstitious. You know, if you get a result like that, then the pick 8's paying, and as we all know, the pick 8 is a carryover. So first leg of the pick 8, let's hope we can get you through it. There's a sort of couple of horses here that have run on top of each other. Let's talk about them. Number 1, Artax. That was a very good run behind Valorin last time. Remember, he is 2.5 kilograms better off this time. He's drawn 1. You know, that last run was from a 9 draw. He's drawn 1 this time. I think he can probably, well, he can turn the tables on Valorin. Obviously, a lot more in his favour this time. And let's talk about Valorin before I go over to Shahil. Obviously, since he's dropped down to the 0.20, he's been a lot more competitive. He's had the 1 win and the 2 short head seconds. He's going to be drawn 7 with that emergency acceptor coming out. He's had a little bit of racing, but he's sort of holding his form well, and obviously he must have a big chance. Yeah, Shahil.
Yeah, I think he's the horse to beat actually, because he was always a consistent horse, but he's been much consistent this year for two close second places and for the 1 win finally. He's drawn 8, but he was drawn 8 when he won too, so that shouldn't be a big problem. He should be right there, Valorin. I do like a lot of number 2 actually, Ashford's Legacy. This horse is down to the 0.20 for the first time. He's been showing a lot of promises recently. Last time he was caught on the fence and he got going pretty late, but once he found the gap, he really quickened up really nicely. Like I said, down to the 0.20 for the first time. I watched his spurt yesterday morning. That was a really nice work. He must have some kind of a chance in this 0.20 field.
Yeah, he must have a chance. You know, if you go back to his South African form, only the 3 runs, 2 places, and I think they probably expected a little bit more from him, but there was a good run from Watch Me Dad last time. He's going to be drawn 6. Pravesh knows him quite well now. He's ridden him a couple of times, and I suppose you've got to put him in as well. What about Doyle's? You know, he disappointed last time. I see they've slapped the blinkers on him. Obviously, he's got that poor draw of well, he's going to be drawn 9 now with the emergency acceptor coming out. But if you go to that penultimate run, there was a good second to Jetpath, and Jetpath's done very, very well. So maybe the blinkers are going to make a difference with Doyle. So I think at the end of the day, probably those 4, 1, 2, 3, and 6 are probably, hopefully they'll get you through the first leg of the pick 8, unless you've seen anything else.
No, not really.
Okay. Right, let's move on to race 2. It's a 1400 meter benchmark 31, and I would imagine Good Buddy looks as close to a bank as anything else on the card. Well, I mean, I suppose a lot of people expected him to run in the second leg of the 3L Championship. Can't fault his form. 3 runs in Mauritius, 2 very good runs. It's 2 good wins in a 1400, and then the first leg of the 3L Championship, there was a 990, probably a little bit short for him. Still a very good second to rule the night. And I can tell you on Tuesday morning his work was very, very good. I watched him work under Cedric Sejon. He worked next to Dark Liability, but he was really striding out well and working well. And I reckon he's going to be quite a tough nut to crack.
Yeah, like you said, his work on Tuesday morning was really good. He's back in his category, let's say, in this benchmark of 31. He shouldn't have a problem with that, even if his 2 win has been in 0.25. Back over the 1400 should suit too, and I think he'll be very hard to beat in this category.
Yeah. What about Roman Dancer? He's sort of a very good debut over 990. I see he has won at 1200 back in Durban, and I suppose, you know, 12. If you can win at 1200 back in South Africa on those tracks, I don't think he's going to have a problem with a 1400. Maybe the second run syndrome could be could come into effect, but we never know. As a second run syndromes, it's not an exact science. It works on some and not on others. But he looks like quite a nice horse. He's got some good South African form. I suppose he's probably going to be the biggest danger to the favourite Good Buddy. And then a lot's got to do with the pace here. If you look at Badawi and Gordon Stoon, they're drawn 3 and 4. Who do you think's quicker?
I think Badawi is much quicker. Even his trial 2 or 3 weeks ago, he showed that. I do believe if he goes to the front, he will be right there, Badawi, but I'm pretty sure Good Buddy could catch him on the line.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I would imagine Good Buddy is probably going to sit just behind those pacemakers. They're going to go quick here, Badawi and Gordon Stoon. And I suppose that's going to suit the likes of Good Buddy and Roman Dancer. All right, let's move over to race 3. It's a 1500 meter benchmark 36. And well, Texas Sky, I think, who watched it? It was me or you that on Wednesday we put him in the Jour de Gala. Yeah, very, very good work. I suppose, you know, there was a terrific run last time from that 10 draw when he was sort of, well, he had to rush around from that draw, just got beat by Afdik. That was a terrific run, and he's drawn 2 this time. I would imagine he's probably going to lead. Looking at this race, I would imagine he's going to lead, and I suppose there is vision of trust there. But he's drawn 2 Texas Sky. He's got a lot of speed, led very early when he won, led very early last time when he ran second. Can you see anyone troubling Texas Sky, yeah?
Probably, like you said on Wednesday, my 2 horses clashing here, Texas Sky and Mr. Hardy. Like you said, Texas Sky will probably have an easy time up front, but Mr. Hardy, the way he won last time, that was so impressive for me. He won going away by full length, and I think Rakesh even didn't push him to the maximum. He could have won by 1/3. Yes, he's up in class, but I do believe he's a progressive sort. It will be an interesting duel between Texas Sky and Mr. Hardy.
Yeah, I've written down here that this is probably his toughest task today. He did win very well last time. There's no doubt about it. Obviously, it was in a weaker field. Whether or not he's good enough to beat Texas Sky remains to be seen. I have put him down as my 3rd choice because I'm going to give number 1 Blow in the box another chance. You know, there was a great run to Minithrin when he was caught wide. Maybe sort of just needed that second run after a break. I see they've slapped the blinkers back on top of him. He's drawn 1. I think Blow in the box, probably, in my opinion, probably the classiest horse in the race. If I went back and looked last year, Perplexing, Bad Attitude, horses like that, he finished right on top of them. So Blow in the box, he'll be my 2nd choice, but I still believe Texas Sky is the horse to beat. So Texas Sky, Blow in the box, Mr. Hardy. Anything else?
No, same trifecta, just different order. Mr. Hardy, Texas Sky, and Blow in the box.
Okay, great. Right, race 4, it's a 1400 meter benchmark 51, and who we got? We got Hastine after that terrific debut when he ran second to Walt Tag. Remember, Walt Tag has come out and run again. I think he won. If I'm not mistaken, he broke the course record. If I'm not mistaken, I think he broke the course record. So that's a very, very good run first time up. Obviously, another question mark about second run syndrome. Let's hope that doesn't affect him, because if it doesn't, I think he'll take a lot of beating. Pierre Stradham's going to suit this horse down to the ground. He's sort of, you know, he's very well-balanced jockey. He's a big horse, and I think Pierre's just going to suit him. He's got a decent draw. Very good work in the week. I thought he worked very, very well. Hastine, if he follows up that debut, you think he'll win?
I do think so, yeah. He was drawn 8 last time out. He's drawn much better this time, and like you always say, Striker Stridham gets the horses really out well after the gates. His work, he didn't work on Tuesday morning. He worked last Friday, which was really good, and even yesterday morning, his work was really decent. Yeah. I do believe he'll be a tough horse to beat if he doesn't suffer from that second run syndrome. But I do believe number 1 Mamble Rock will give him a real fight for his money. He was also finishing off really strongly against Woltag last time, and he's a horse that will appreciate the back in the benchmark of 51. His last race was in a 56, so it could be an interesting duel between these two.
Yeah, I've got Mamba Rock down as my 2nd choice as well. I also believe that he's going to be a lot better in 51. There is a direct form line. Obviously, Hastings finished, what was it, 2 lengths in front of him. But that day he was drawn 10. Mamba Rock is drawn 2 this time. He's obviously, well, he's not the greatest of jumpers, but I would imagine he's going to be in a lot better position than he was on that particular day. So Mamba Rock, yeah, he'll be my 2nd choice as well. I'm going to mention a horse that you probably forgot. He's one of your 2 to follow. Yeah, Mutsi. Yeah. That was a cracking run last time, first time back over the 990. If you go back a couple of runs in the 1450, he beat Sky High Fly. He's also run behind some decent horses. I believe that this horse is a little bit special. I think the fact that there's been a little bit of rain is going to suit Mutsi as well. He's sort of horse that looks like he'll do well in the wet going, and well, not wet going, but in the softer ground. And I'm going to put him in as a little bit of a roughie, number 5 Mutsi. So I'm going to go 7. 1 and 5. Who's you got anything else? What your third choice?
My third choice would probably be number 4, Frenriquez. Actually, he's a horse full of ability. It's just that he's not very sound. He always comes back lame or with some kind of issues. If all is good with him tomorrow, I do believe he does have a place chance.
Yeah, another horse that I would imagine that the softer ground is going to suit. That's Frenriquez. Right, let's move on to race 5, 1600 meter. It is a benchmark 61. And obviously all the rage is about Opera Royale. He's run some cracking races behind Cool It Heart. He won a very good race. This horse has got amazing finishing times. These last 3 finishes have been under 24 seconds, which is pretty impressive. But I'm going to go to one of my two follows, Al Shiba. I thought he was very, very unlucky last time. Yes, he is stepping up in class. He's only going to carry that 55.5 kilos on his back. I thought he was very, very unlucky. I reckon if he never got stuck behind a couple of the slower ones, and if he got a sort of nice run down the straight, I think he would have beaten Redline Captain. In fact, I'm going to go as far as to say that he would have beaten Redline Captain last time. He was very, very unlucky, and I just think if things go his way this time, unfortunately drawn 7 out of 8, but he does come from off the pace. I think Daryl Holland's not an idiot. He learned from, I wouldn't say his mistake, but he learned from what happened last time. It wasn't his fault. He got stuck behind a couple of slower horses. I do believe that he's probably going to take his precautions this time. I think he's going to have him in the right place, and I'm going to put Al Shiba in front of the favorite Opera Royale.
I agree with you completely. I've written down the same thing. I think if Daryl Holland had moved a bit earlier last time, he would probably have won and beaten Redline Captain. And he's got the huge advantage of having that 55 kgs on his back. That would be really suit him down to the ground, Al Shiba. The 15 meters too short, that shouldn't be quite an issue. He's also classy. First time in a 61, but he's a classy sort. He's running against some very good horses back in South Africa. I'm also going to make Al Shiba my first choice.
Okay, are you agreeing Opera Royale's will be the second choice?
Definitely. I was a cracking run when he beat Perplexing last time out. Manuel Nunes, brilliant ride that day. He took the first run on Perplexing, boxed him all the way. Brilliant ride.
Yeah, okay, well, Rapid Tack was right up on his heels. He's obviously going to benefit from the 2.5 kilogram better swing in the weight, so you can't write off Rapid Tack. And then obviously Redline Captain, you know, every time I think this is probably a little bit tough for him, but he still manages to prove me wrong, although I think he was pretty lucky to beat Redline Captain last time. So Al Shiba, Opera Royale, Rapid Tack.
Same here.
All right, let's move over to race 6. It is the second leg of the 3L Championship, the most anticipated race. This has always sort of fascinated me, the 3Ls. I always liked watching the younger horses. Obviously, you cannot fault Rule the Night. He's had the 2 runs in Mauritius. He's won them pretty well. He's won them easily. He's beaten some nice, he beat Mutsi, horse that I like later on, and then Good Buddy as well. So it'll be interesting to see how Mutsi and Good Buddy go. But Rule the Night, look, he's stepping up to the 1400. I don't think that's going to be a problem. The only sort of worry that I have got with Rule the Night is obviously the top weight of 61 kilograms. And the reason why I say that, because I've got a lot of respect for this horse, Viking Trail. He's got 52.5. Remember, Imran Chisti is riding half a kilogram off, on. And he dropped the stick last time. This horse has improved dramatically in the training. I think Viking Trail is a big, big threat to the favorite Rule the Night. Obviously, Rule the Night looks like one of those horses that has really enjoyed the island, and 2 very, very impressive wins over the 990. I'm just a little bit worried about Viking Trail.
I do agree with you. Rule the Night, he shouldn't have any problem with these 1300 meters. He's just run a close second on 1450 back in South Africa, where he failed by only 0.30 behind Silver God, who's a very good horse from the Sean Terry yard. He's unbeaten in 2. The top weight shouldn't be a problem because his 2 win has been with top weight. I'm going to make him my first choice too. For second place, I'll definitely go Licario. Licario was one of my picks in training during the week. He's been working really well. He will definitely appreciate the 1400 meters. He's won twice on 1400 back in South Africa. And for third, probably, yeah, I'll go with you for Viking Trail. I think he's been one of my 2 to follow last time, Viking Trail. But my only question mark would be, is he classy enough to run against the like of Rule the Night or Licario? Okay, so you're going Rule the Night. I tell you, obviously, Rule the Night, it'll be very, very difficult to go against him, but just be very cautious about number 5, Viking Trail. I think he's going to give the favourite a bit of a run for his money, especially with that 52.5 kilograms of Imran Chisti. Right, let's move over to race 7. It's a 1500 meter benchmark 31. It looks on paper like a 2-horse race. I'm going to side with number 8, Volatile Energy, and the reason why I'm going with him is purely because of the draw
And I think that he's run behind a lot better horses than Jetpath, or even beaten better horses than Jetpath has. I mean, he beat From the Ashes. We've all seen how well From the Ashes has done. He's run behind horses like Tower of Wisdom. Even his last run, his first run of the season, a very good second to Varside. Varside came out, he just got beat on Saturday as well. So that form line is pretty strong. And I'm going to compare the Jetpath form line. Obviously, Doyle's, he's in 0-20 in the first race. And then he beat Cyber Special though, Cyber Special, but I think, in my opinion, he was very lucky to beat Cyber Special that day. I thought Cyber Special was very unlucky to get beat. So I'm just going, I'm sort of just basing just purely on, I just think that Volatile Energy has run behind a lot stronger horses than Jetpath has.
And you think that the way the race will pan out will definitely suit him much better than Jetpath?
Well, I suppose the question mark is who's quicker, Volatile Energy or Jetpath? Yeah, so I think he's drawn one. He's probably going to be quicker. He likes to be out in front. If you have a look at that win when he won that mile, when he beat From the Ashes, he jumped from draw 10, went to the front and beat From the Ashes. And like I said, once again, we've seen what From the Ashes has done. And I'm not knocking Jetpath. He's obviously a changed horse this year. He's a lot better horse this year, but I just can't put From the Ashes in the same sort of race as Doyle's and even Newsman. I just don't think that form line is as strong as what Volatile Energy has done. And the fact that he's got that one draw is obviously a big plus for him as well. Yeah.
But I'm still going to oppose you. I'm going to go with Jetpath actually. That he was in disgrace last time in a benchmark of 31 behind Newsman. I do believe he'll win the box. He'd be just behind Volatile Energy, and all the elite stable horses are firing at the moment. Like Derek David said in an interview, all that they're running are winning. So I'm going to stick with Jetpath to beat Volatile Energy. And for third, probably Phoenix Rising. He ran a nice race last time behind Texas Sky. Texas Sky bolted home by at least 3 or 4 lengths that day, so he wasn't long behind the second one. So I'm sure Phoenix Rising should have a place chance.
Yeah, I've also got Phoenix Rising down as my third choice. I just believe that Pierce Strode's going to suit this horse. He comes from off the pace. He'll get him nicely balanced. I think he's going to be running on quite well. I'm going to stick with 8 Volatile Energy to beat Jetpath and Phoenix Rising. Shahil, you're going to go 5, 8 and 7. Right. All right, let's move over to the 8th race. It is the lucky last, 1850 025. And I went back and watched Napoli's last run. It was like watching a horror movie. It was... I cannot see Napoli getting beat purely on that last run. He got caught 3-4 wide the whole way, and he still managed to run a very good second to Redwood Valley, if I'm not mistaken. Was that Redwood Valley's second win? I can't remember actually if he came out and won again. I think it was Redwood Valley's second win, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, Napoli purely on that last run, and I don't think he's taking on the toughest field here.
Yeah, that's right. Not the strongest of field, and he will definitely appreciate this step up to 1850. He hasn't won in Mauritius yet, but he has won over 2,000 meters back in South Africa. Like Mark said, not the strongest of field, so this is a perfect opportunity for him to open his account here. Yeah,
he looks like he's due to when he's had the 13 runs for the 7 places. But that last run, I mean, if you are watching this, go back and have a look. It was sort of, I mean, if he just gets any sort of position and he runs like he did last time, he should win. There's one horse that I'm a little bit worried about. Is this horse Desert Thief? I thought there was a great run behind Cyber Special last time. Another movie I went and watched last night, and he sort of was like one paced up the straight, and then sort of the last sort of 50 meters, he found his stride, and he finished his race off quite nicely. That was over 1600. The 250 meters extra is going to suit him. He is by Mullins Bay. They do stay the Mullins Bays. So Desert Thief, drawn 1, Pierce Strode in the irons, probably, in my opinion, the biggest threat to Napoli. And then one other also I want to mention, Starsky. Unfortunately, he's got a bad draw, but he is a one-pacer. His only win has been over 1850. A very good second to Uncle JB last year in the 1850. So he likes the 1850. So he'll be my third choice.
Actually, Desert Thief, just to go back to him, I don't know if you have taken a look at the comments section. It says that for his 2 run here, he has been slow out. That's probably the reason why they are upping him in distance. Actually, I do like a bit of an outsider in this race, number 8, Isambra. He always does well over this 1850. Brandon Louis, still looking for his first winner since he's been back. He's drawn 3. That was a nice run against Valrin last time, only 1.5 lengths behind him. And also another horse that I like is Starsky. He could be the only front runner in the race, if I'm not mistaken. He's drawn 10. He's going to have to cross over, so I'm going to go with these 3, Napoli, Isambra and Starsky.
Okay, I'm going to go Napoli. I think Desert Thief's going to run a cracker. It looks like he's sort of just coming to hand now. Seems to know what it's all about. Remember, he only had the one run in South Africa. He knows sort of what the track's all about now. So Desert Thief, I'll put him down for second. Number 5, Starsky, will be my third choice. Right, your bank of the day, Shahil?
I'll probably go with Good Buddy.
Okay, I think I'm going to go with Napoli, just purely on that last run. Have you got a value bet for our viewers there?
Probably Ice Emperor. I do like him a little bit in the last one. I think he's trading at around 700 rupees.
Okay, all right. Well, I've got a feeling that Viking Trail could just turn it over on Rule the Night. I'm just going purely on his last run and the fact that he's getting 9 kilos from Rule the Night. And so I'm going to go Viking Trail, a little bit of a value bet. I'm going to have a small little East way bet on Viking Trail. All right, well, that's our show. Remember, if you're watching this before 5 this evening, we've got our radio show with myself, Shahil, and Raksha. And we normally have a good time on there. We go through the races, and it's not sort of just as serious as this. We have a little bit of fun, but we still talk about racing. We all have a good time. Please tune in tonight to Waza FM between 5 and 6, where we will be going through the races of tomorrow. And then obviously next week, Wednesday, is Jour de Gallo, where we will be reviewing this card, and we'll be talking about some horses in training. Thanks very much for joining us. Catch up with you next week. Goodbye.